Worst thing is that it's what you hate to hear, non-contact.
Yeah.
I've seen guys be down for long periods of time and actually be okay, so I'm hoping it's something like that, He got up and walked off the field, so that was encouraging to see, and just hopefully he's fine.
All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel, presented by Connors and Ferris. Mike Catalana, Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're going to break down what happened at practice today, some of the players that stood out, as well as what happened on the patio. But first things first, Michael, day 6 of Bills camp.
Not great.
And we have to start with the fact that Max Hairston going down with an injury, walked off the field with the Bills head trainer, and we did not see him the rest of the day.
So I'm looking, it's 1:50 in the afternoon after practice. We're recording this at the moment.
On Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, we know that he was injured. Dan, you were there too, got shots of him. There's going to be a link in the description to what Dan got a shot there of him coming off the field with his trainers. We don't know, right? It's an injury. There's no doubt he was hurt. The question is, how bad is it? By the time you're watching this, we may have more clarity on it.
Yeah.
At the moment, it did not look great.
Nope.
His teammates surrounded him. He's got a great bunch of guys around him, especially for a young player. But it's a knee injury. They were checking his knee. We just don't have any definition besides that.
Worst thing is that it's what you hate to hear, non-contact.
Yeah.
That is the scariest part about all of this. It was during individual drills. We actually got a chance to talk to Taron Johnson as well as Dane Jackson after practice. I give them credit for talking because it's they said they had a prayer, like they pray after every practice, but they said they specifically were praying for Maxwell today because it was a routine pass rushing drill where they run around a hoop and then try and bat a pad down, and that's when he went down. Dane called it a freak trip up accident, but again, non-contact, not good. Nobody even really saw it.
Yeah.
Because it's just one of those drills where you're like, okay, it wasn't in teams, it was, and then to have the trainers doing some of the ACL testing right there, it's what you could see, able to walk off with some help from Nate Bresky, the Bills' head athletic trainer, went into the tent. That's all that we know.
It's so tough. Obviously, the Bills drafted him in the first round. You see the speed that he had. And for a young guy, rookie guy, to be out there and to have it be like that, I mean, how much do you think? We don't know the severity of the injury, but just to see that, what does that do?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know because we haven't talked to him, but he's got to be scared.
Yeah.
I always think of he's a young guy in his first camp. And look, his head's spinning a little bit in this camp.
Yep.
He's trying to figure his way out. And when you guys describe that play, you think about what these guys go through, even on the regular practice field, even in 11-on-11s, maybe it isn't full tackle drills yet, but it's still physical. And then to get hurt in a play where he's an incredible athlete gets hurt doing something he could do 1,000 more times and never have a problem. So you think of the guy first in that case, but also, for where he is and where this team is, it's a little bit of a step back because they were hopeful to see him in this camp make progress towards what he can be.
And again, we're talking about this after practice, 1:50. There's been no update from the team. Mike, you and I were there to talk to Taron Johnson.
Yeah.
And you kind of said, like, how's this all go? And Taron, with a little bit of hope, he goes, I have seen guys be down for a while and be okay. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
So, again, we don't know, but trying to give both sides of the good news, able to walk off. The bad news is the obviously ACL testing and some of those things. I'm sure, like I said, the video is on my Twitter. We'll link it in the description. It is what it is.
Yeah.
What I was going to say to you, Jenna, is I was thinking about Trey White seeing this.
Yeah.
And Trey White, who has been a mentor to all these players, who has been through those injuries, who is now competing with that guy. There's nothing in Trey that isn't crushed watching this.
Absolutely.
You know what
it
is.
Yeah.
But to see it and know, how he's been working with him.
Yeah.
He's been competing with him, and now he's watching him potentially go through something serious like Trey has done twice.
Yeah, it's just hard to see. Honestly, in general, in terms of the injuries, like I think they are something to note for this camp, and it's been one of the storylines. I do think a positive, if we kind of turn the page, Dalton Kincaid was back to practice today.
Yeah.
I think that was an encouraging sign, especially considering the knee soreness on Monday. We were kind of concerned about it, considering his injury past. But to have a guy like that back out there, I think that's important.
Yeah. Obviously, we're not in the building, but knowing yesterday was the first padded practice and it was a heavy run day, makes sense as to why you would leave out the tight end who didn't have to go banging on linebackers and defensive linemen for a whole day. Obviously, today was a lot more passing. It was a lot more third and long situations is what they were working on. So good to see him back out there. But again, these injuries are continuing to mount up. Obviously, Hairston is the big one that you're thinking about, but Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, the list goes on and on. Knox is still not fully good to go. Terrell Bernard's still out. Dorian Williams, like, you're kind of losing track of some of this stuff.
It is. And then also add to it, it's been hot, really hot.
Yeah.
And yesterday we mentioned Mike Edwards. He was out with heat related.
Yep.
Not the only one. Other players.
KJ Hamler also heat related.
And some of these guys, that's what's really kind of scary, even with Mike Edwards, is it's after practice, it's after a period of time, and then it hits them. Dwayne Carter was out with illness. I don't know if that had anything to do with heat. They listed it that way. We actually talked to him after practice.
Yeah, yesterday.
But you never know what it is. But the heat can wear on players too. So was encouraging to see Kincaid. I don't think anything with Knox. I was actually curious as to why they felt they needed to put him back on the roster.
I think you can do more.
Yeah, okay.
By coming off of the non-football injury and that pup list, I think you're able to participate more and have a more gradual ramp up.
Yeah, and then another note, Alec Anderson, knee injury, did not practice, so that's someone else of note. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we saw on the field today, because obviously the practice did continue on after the Hairston injury, and there was some things and notable happenings. I can't speak.
Hot.
It is so hot. I can't imagine playing football with how hot it is.
Yeah.
I know it's hot every year, but it is tremendously hot every day, it feels like.
And they're stacking up days doing this. Like I already said, we feel it in all different ways. And in their case, doing all the work they do and all the work at other times. But on the field, it was not very long after what happened with Hairston. Got a little bit of a scare. Josh Allen threw a pass to Joshua Palmer. Palmer flipped it to Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
Ty was running along the sidelines.
Buffalo Joe.
Buffalo Joe gave him a shot. And everybody reacted and all, and he went down. But then Ty went down a little bit. Was the ankle? It looked like. I mean,
Yes.
I did not get an official word. I don't know if they said
over
it.
there.
Yeah, I don't like pointing at the field. But, and initially I'm like, ooh, nah, not great. It's Ty Johnson. He went at the ankle. Seemed fine.
Yeah.
They got him taped up, and that was the case. But you're standing there, and you're like, that's pretty close to real football right there.
Yes.
And it's part of the game, part of what they're doing. And there was one little dust-up. It ended up looking like more
Yes.
because it felt like every guy was involved.
It was one of
in
the team scuffles.
And it's the rookie.
Luntz. Chase Luntz.
Yeah, big dude.
77.
Big dude.
And a lot of smaller defensive backs. I think it maybe was Derek Forrest in the middle of it.
Yes, that's what we think.
And it looked like it was. But all of a sudden this big, and the fans, did you hear the fans yelling, break it up, break it up, break it up? Like they don't want to see somebody get hurt in that. So ended up being not much more than that.
The standouts to me, Matt Milano had another nice day, had an interception. Bobby Babich very fired up about picking off Josh Allen. A nice play of dropping back into coverage, picked off a pass intended for Dalton Kincaid. Thought he had another strong day. Trey White had a couple of nice plays as well. For as much as it hurts about Maxwell Hairston, I know it's tough to try and compartmentalize that into also breaking down who's behind him, but you kind of have to start peeking where is the depth chart. And we've said Trey's had some pretty solid days. He's looked better at training camp than he did at mini camp.
Yeah.
And he's had a couple of nice days. Now, there was one touchdown over him. We will get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought Trey and Milano had really solid days.
Trey, you're right. Trey has played remarkably better, I feel like, than he did at mandatory camp, because I also think it's like, you're
juice.
Yeah, you're going through the motions a little bit when you're there in June, and now that it's July, almost August, it's a completely different level. Now, some guys to also note in terms of like outside corners, there's Dorian Strong, Dane Jackson, Jamarcus Ingram, Daquan Hardy, and Brandon Codrington. Obviously, some of those guys are a little bit more special teams related, but have you seen Dane kind of have any pop, or is there anything about Dane that stood out to you?
He's Dane.
Yeah.
Like nothing really looks any different for me. Dorian Strong, who we've talked about, has had a good camp, did get beat on a deep ball by Deion Kane. We're sitting there on the sidelines going,
he just came back.
We're like, Mitch Trubisky is playing. We're like, we're watching Mitch get some reps. And he must have heard us because he put everything he had into a perfect 60-yard bomb to Deion Kane, who got behind everybody, including Dorian Strong. So that was maybe the one knock that Strong's had so far in what has been a pretty strong camp for the rookie. But Deion Kane making a play.
Yeah.
It's worth noting those guys because you have those two. And Jamarcus Ingram, who made some plays last year.
Last year at training camp, we loved him. His
And then
length, his
had
physicality.
And he had the Miami game.
Yes.
And we took one back to the house. And then he was mostly special teams and a backup and didn't get the opportunity. Really, when you go to the other two, Hardy and Codrington, I do not. Codrington was out there for reps. I do not see him as a corner on this team. I think if he's making it, he's a special team.
He's a return guy.
Yeah.
And Hardy's the big guy between the two of them.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they're small corners.
They are small.
So we'll have time if there is a reason to think this team needs to dip somewhere else to look for corners to talk about that going forward.
But you mentioned like some of those guys getting out on the field because of the fact that there's been the injuries just in general. And I feel like when we go looking back at the offense, like there's been some guys, I mentioned Zach Davidson yesterday, but with some players not being out on the field, there's other guys that have had the opportunities out there.
Pass catcher of the day.
And pass catcher of the day. And
new
dude of the day.
We're double dipping. Steve Gosnell.
Yes. Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Undrafted
White
free
Steve.
agent. So I was asking, like, are you sure? But you guys were talking about it.
White Steve is his nickname.
On the Bills.
On the Bills.
Yes.
So
I don't know
who Black Steve is.
I don't know any of the background. We haven't been able to ask any of the real players about it. But he is known as White Steve.
So there's that.
We were talking about it. Even one of the Bills PR guy goes, we walked by, we're like, how do you spell Gosnell? And he goes, White Steve? So, like, it's a thing. White Steve.
So White Steve Gosnell, got behind Trey White.
Yes.
And the most impressive thing about that pass was who threw it. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen at one point took a rep with Deion Kane, White Steve, and 82, who I think is Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. We're sitting there lining up, and we're like, this is where the Bills are at their wide receiver depth right now.
Yeah.
Because of Samuel being out, and Elijah Moore being out, and Hamler out, and Shavers out. The list goes on of wide receivers they're down to. White Steve's making plays.
And he made a play.
Great celebration.
This is over Trey White, and he did beat him. It was a beautiful ball. He beat him.
50-yarder, like.
And he scored. Oh, he flexed. He slammed the ball down. He flexed. That dude was happy.
Threw his mouth guard down and then realized he needed to pick that back up for the next play. It was
By
great.
the way, he's number 89, the Steve Tasker number, which is kind of funny.
His name is
wide receiver.
His name is
White Steve.
And he's another White Steve.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember who tweeted it, but and forgive me, it was online that someone had like, oh, Josh Allen throws a touchdown catch to Steve Gosnell, and they used the gif of Josh in, what was it, the Miami game, where he like was talking smack, where he checked the other
Like,
players.
who's that?
Yeah, like who's
There were a
the
lot of
name
good,
on the back of the
there were a lot
jersey.
of good,
It was really
quote
funny.
tweets that were like, who now?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No,
that's
fair.
where we're at.
But honestly, it was a really nice catch.
It
It was
was.
a really beautiful play. And I know, like, do you want to see him out on the field during a game? Probably not.
Nope.
But at the same point,
White Steve.
he's taking advantage of the opportunity that he is given.
guys do this sometimes. It doesn't mean he's going to be anything, but I
Brandon
would say
Riley?
this.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but it never went past this.
Nebraska?
I'm talking about
Yeah, like
guys who
training
are
camp
undrafted
darling.
and people
Yeah.
go,
David Sills.
and they end up actually playing.
Duke Williams?
Duke.
He did play.
He did play.
Got a
Duke
touchdown in
Williams.
Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always think about, look, I'm sure you had some great moments at Virginia Tech, right? But all of us who have played sports think of a big moment, like, right? Whatever else he does, this was pretty big.
Yeah.
He got a touchdown
That's
in training
Josh
camp
Allen.
from
That's
Josh
Like
Allen.
pretty cool.
if it was Mitch or one of the guys, he would have been like, I caught a pass in the
Yeah.
practice
Yeah.
when I was there with the Bills. Oh no, it was 17.
If you had one shot,
White
He got
Steve.
it. White
one
Steve.
opportunity. So,
Yeah.
yes, so Steve Gosnell is our...
Steven.
Steven.
I saw a bunch of.
Okay.
It's White
all right.
Steve, but it's Steven Gosnell.
Okay, sorry.
okay.
Mr. I can't.
Thank you.
So
Thank
there's
you.
that. So he was the pass catcher of the day as well as the new dude of the day. First time ever, a little double
Yeah.
dipping.
Big day for
Deserves
White
it.
Steve.
Yeah, that's wild.
it.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, how about Hard Knocks?
Oh yeah. How could we forget? Okay, why don't you set it up?
So yesterday it was cool. So this is, what are we on, Tuesday? So it was Monday.
Days are blending
when
together.
you're
Yeah.
watching it. And just so you guys know, the podcast will be out for Wednesday morning
Yep. Mhm.
with Brandon Bean. What was cool for us was, listen, it's cool to have the GM
Yeah.
Come hang with us.
On the patio.
It's in my backyard because I live so close, and that's how we got him to come over to do that. Now he wants to come back every year.
Amazing.
Derek Boyko,
They're
that
going to
works
help
for the team.
construction,
Yeah, we're
upgrades
putting
to the
some
patio.
stuff in
Yeah,
the patio.
yeah.
I may get Pagula to pay for it.
Is that a part of a new Fisher contract?
right.
Maybe?
Yeah, we got to see, right? We'll get Fisher to pay for it. So anyhow, we think they're coming. And then the Hard Knocks people were like, hey, we might send somebody over, or we might follow Brandon over there and all. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to send the guys over. And then the next thing I know, my stepdaughter goes, there's people out front. And I go to the front door, and there was an army of NFL Films people out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When you were told earlier on in the morning, we were waiting for the first press conference of the day at like 9:15. Mike was like, "Hey, Hard Knocks told me they were gonna come by the Brandon Bean interview," and I was like, "Oh, okay." In my head, I thought they'd be like, "Yeah, we'll stop by." Like 1, 2 people maybe. There was at least 7 people there.
Explain how you reacted to the initial thought,
Correct.
how Dan reacted, and how I reacted.
We needed to break this down.
Okay, yes.
We heard Hard Knocks was possibly coming.
Yes.
They wanted to possibly use some of the audio of the podcast that we were going to do with Brandon Bean. I instantly, we're on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I was 100%, we're on Hard
Wait a minute.
Knocks.
At that moment, Dan thought, he's going to be the star of Hard Knocks.
I'm getting an episode. Mike thought,
I said, I think there's a decent chance now we'll be on. I'm not sure how much, but you never know. They shoot a lot of stuff. Maybe we aren't. And Jenna?
No chance. No chance we're on Hard
and then
Knocks.
9 people in blue shirts that said Hard Knocks
I
and
still-
mic'd us up.
Yeah, that
we
was
were mic'd up for NFL Films Hard
yeah.
Knocks.
That
was pretty cool.
That was a cool moment
Yeah.
for me. I mean, I know for you guys too, but like my entire life I've been watching stuff from NFL Films. I love NFL Films. I grew up about 25 minutes from where their offices are in South Jersey, and all the stuff I always talk to you guys about all the other shows they do. I
Yeah.
think their work is, and we're not pandering to them here. They know how good they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're great. Now I will say this: those guys were super cool.
Oh, yeah.
Holding up those boom mics, they hold up
Oh, my
all day,
gosh.
and the whole group, they were incredible in the place.
Yeah.
And we'll see. We'll see. Probably would be a week from today, a week from Tuesday,
Yeah.
when the first episode airs. It might just be like a passing shot.
Yeah. Even that would be really cool.
It would be cool.
It was so indicative of us. So we were Dan's like, 1,000%. And Mike being like, you know what? There's a measured chance. And me being like, I don't know, guys.
Nothing.
Well, here's the thing. Set your expectations low. I've been disappointed.
Undersell, overachieve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But still, regardless,
I'm just overselling everything.
it was
a little
awesome.
inside baseball. Sometimes Jenna is like, don't put the camera here. She had like 12 cameras on her during the
Yeah,
thing.
which
all of us did.
As you guys saw on Monday when Dan was zooming in, I dread that. And
Yeah.
I was like, someone has a close-up of my face like this.
Of
and
all
I-
of us who's worried about that, Dan and I
No.
are like, I don't care.
No, Dan's
I put
like,
on makeup. No, I was like, oh,
You did put
I was,
on
I was like,
makeup,
there's
yeah.
going to be one audio guy here. And then I
That's
saw
literally what I
everybody,
thought.
and then miking us up. I was like, I'm going to throw in some makeup. Like, I'm glad that we changed and showered because that
Yeah.
was a really,
Yes.
really cool moment.
No
And
matter
again,
how it plays out
Yeah.
there. But I think it was cool.
It was so sweet to see how excited you were.
Yeah, because it's different. I have been very fortunate in my career to go to a lot of big things.
Are you going to cry?
I just...
She
Shut
likes-
up.
She's
Shut up.
this time.
It's so sweet to see someone you love genuinely be so excited.
Well, this time
I'm going to be a mess when I'm a mom.
they came to us to Buffalo Plus to
Yeah.
us, which happened to be at my house. And thank God my wife made me cut the grass in the morning. She was pulling weeds, and I
Shout
said to
out
her,
Jenny.
Jenny had everything ready, and I said, oh, don't worry about all that. They won't see any of that. This is the shot we get. And then I'm watching them follow Bean in my backyard. Like, you could see everything.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of funny.
And also, credit to you guys. Like, we thought that this YouTube channel would be something. To see NFL Films want to be a part, because Bean does a lot of podcasts. He
Yeah.
talks to a lot of people. To want it to be Buffalo Plus, that was really cool. That's a credit to all of the people that have liked and commented and subscribed and have helped make Buffalo Plus what it is.
Yeah.
So that's also a really cool moment to think that it could be on HBO across the country, and there could be a Bills fan who doesn't know about Buffalo Plus yet, and then sees a patio with bunch of signage.
Shout out to Brian Swerda. We talk about Brian all the time.
Nothing's possible
He
without
puts
him.
everything together on these kind of settings, like when we do live broadcasts and all those things. He had, I think I want to leave the backyard just like that, now, like with a whole set put up. So
Yeah.
thank you, Brian.
So that
for all
will be out Wednesday morning, let's say 8 o'clock
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time. And we'll also have shorts, behind the scenes stuff too, because it was wild.
Yeah, that was so cool.
And Bean was great.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
the
Credit to
interview was
Bean.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
great interviews.
Didn't like my salary cap stuff.
Oh, that the salary cap's
He,
not real?
he wasn't a big fan of that.
Still, well, you'll see. You'll see when you watch
He
the
did. He
podcast.
did go for a mug.
He did go for a mug.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I want to mention some of the people that
yeah.
were so kind and came up to us. So Lynn, Liz, Josh, Steve, Nick, Zach, Logan, Dennis, Uncle Joe. Very cool.
And I also got to shout out Lisa and Laura from Long Island. We made it a little bit easier, a little alliteration. I
There
got
you
a
go.
chance to talk with them. They loved the channel. They loved your wedding, and they were happy for
Sweet.
you. Dan, they loved seeing you with the camera running across the field
Somebody's
to get
gotta
the
work.
shots. They were great. They came
that
from
breeze
Long
feels good.
Island. It was a few days that they're here. They love the channel. They love the Bills. She works for the Rangers and the Knicks, but her heart is with the Buffalo Bills. I think they said they were going to Niagara Falls as part of this trip.
That's fun.
Big fans of the channel, so shout out to them. It was nice to meet them today,
Yeah.
take a picture and all that was going on.
So cool.
Yeah.
Love it. Everyone's so kind. We truly appreciate it. Like it feels like such a blessing. So thank you. All right. Anything else we want to note from today?
Credit to me. We're 6. This was day 6.
Yeah.
Haven't hit a jugs machine yet.
Proud of you.
By the
You
way,
have-
they had the jugs machine firing off shots
Yep.
right at the corner
It
the
was-
other
I'm not
day.
gonna lie.
It was just constant flinching.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah.
It was like they were.
It was up, so it went over everyone else. But yeah.
It was like they were taunting Dan.
It was a little bit like.
They were like, "Come over here, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll take care of you."
Yeah. Yeah. I would not.
Still can't believe that happened.
I would not want to see that. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We so appreciate it.
The comments have been incredible.
Yeah.
Just people that can't get to camp because of whether it's where they live or they didn't get tickets are relying on us for their coverage, and it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, we again, we are so grateful, so thank you. For Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We will catch you next time here on the Buffalo Plus channel, presented by Connors and Ferris. So, Bills no practice on Wednesday, but check out the Brandon Bean podcast. Bills will be back to work here at Fisher on Thursday. All right, thank you. No zooming.